Alright, good morning. I would like to introduce you this morning to the oldmanyow number system. This is my shorthand method for writing out songs. And I write out lots and lots and lots of songs that y'all never see because they just don't work out on the flute very well. Or their position is just so hard to play that I don't put them out. So this is my method. And with this you can write songs that you play down. You can write, if you play the same 2 or 3 songs and you want to write, or you want to play something different, then this should help break that habit. And if you go to a flute circle and someone plays a song that you really like, well, with this, instead of just, they play it for you a couple of times, and, all right, I got it, then you drive home, you go out to eat or whatever, you get home and you think, oh Lord, what did John tell me? I already forgot it. So, just to show you how it works, let me do it over here. I'm going to write a song out. Well, I need to do it in front of you to show you what I'm doing. If I can do it, I'll do it in big letters. We're going to do a 6, let's say a 3, let's say a 1, a terrible 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5. Now what I have just done is write out the first phrase of a song. I don't know what it sounds like yet, but I have written out something that can be played that quick. And that would play just a straight melody, not altering the time, anything. It would sound something like this. Alright, now what I did was, get this big enough where you can see it. There is very simple, but I have not taught this so far, and I've been doing this for a couple of years because I know that I'm going to get, well, we've never done it that way before. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And, you know, I'm going to get a lot of heat from it probably, but this is what I use, and it works out very quick. It's a whole lot easier than coloring in. Every time you want to write, having to color in, have to sit and color all that in, and then if it's not what you want, what do you do with it? Alright. The logic behind this is, this is your top hole. I'll have to play it. This is your top hole. You've got, and it's number 1. You will usually think of the top, number 1 is down here on the bottom. Let me fill that in right quick. Won't take but a second. Now, what we normally call number 1 on the bottom is, in theory, music theory is correct because it's the first note of the scale. And we would call this, where'd it go? There it is. We would call this pattern number 1. Then when you take up a finger, it would be number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. However, in writing songs down in a shorthand method, this is number 1 because there's 1 hole covered. The 3rd hole for right now is always covered. If you have 2 holes covered, that one and that one, that's 2 because you have 2 holes covered. Now this is where it's going to confuse you. If you have these 3 covered, you have 3 holes covered, so it's the number 3. Then it gets a little easier. If you have 4 holes covered, it's 4. If you have 5 holes covered, it's 5. If you have 6 holes covered, it's 6. And then you just reverse it. And it's just, you start at the scale from the top and play down in your numbering system. Here again, if you have 1 hole covered, it's number 1. If you have 3 holes covered, it's considered to be number 3 in my method. The way I write it down. If you have 5 holes covered, it's 5, and then 6 holes, it's 6. And, there's a little more to it. Okay, where's my other sheet? Now, if you look at this, or if you look at, here's the song that we were teaching, Seminole Wind. If you look at this, you have no indicators. And unless you know the song, and this is what I run into, that I don't know the song very well, so I have trouble playing because there's no time indicators, and I have to, you know, it just takes a long time to fill in all those little dots. So this is the first process that I do when I'm writing out a song. Alright, let's work on just the scale first. Now, if you do a scale starting at the bottom, according to my method, this would be, and we'll play this line, and then I'll turn it around. We're going to start at the bottom because all 6 holes are covered, going to up to number 1. Let me swing the camera around right quick. And I probably already lost everybody, but oops, it'll be all right. So this is number 6 because there's 6 holes covered. That's number 1 because there's 1 hole covered. That's number 2 because 2 holes. That's number 3 because there's 3 holes. That's 4, and that 4 holes covered. 5 holes are covered, and 6 holes are covered. So now instead of calling this number 1, which according to theory is correct, we're going to call that for right. This is what I call it. My oldmanyow numbering system is, this is 6 because there's 6 holes covered. So if you play a scale, it'd be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then if you go down, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I know it's different, and to be honest, this is the way I teach. Let me swing the camera around back, well, if I can. When I start a new student, and I don't teach many anymore personally, I start them up here instead of starting them down here because you've got 6 holes to deal with. Up here, if you go, and it doesn't sound right, then you got an air leak here. And these, anyway, I start at the top and I teach you down and then go back up. That's the way I teach people that are just learning when somebody comes to the house. Alright, that's the scale. I hope it made sense. It's just pretty basic. It makes sense to me. Of course, I'm not the smartest man in the world. Now, let's say we want to look at these numbers. So what you see is 3s and 3s, and that is a 2, a 5, 4, and a 3. There's no indicators. You have no clue what that melody sounds like. But since it's a 3, I do know that there are 3 holes covered in all those. And then in this one, there's 2 holes covered, 5 holes are covered, 4 holes are covered, and back to 3. Now that could be 1,000 different melodies. And you know, you could play it. You can play it 1,000 different ways. Now, so here's where I hope I don't lose anybody. If you see this mark, looks like a hill, part of a hill, that means that note is quicker. If you see that line, that note is quicker. If you see a mark up here, that means you're going to hold that note for a while. Now, since we play from the heart, and we don't play to a metronome, which sounds like this, then we don't get stuff turned off here. We're going to assume that all these notes, unless I indicate by a faster note here and here, or by a longer note there, that I'm going to hold it, because I'm playing from my heart. I'm playing a feeling, not I'm not playing to a metronome, which I used to play with those, or to those things in hours, and I hated them. I really did not like them. So we're going to assume that every note in a particular song has about the same value, which would be Now, we're going to put, we've already got it there, it's going to go bum, 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 because that note's shorter, go bum, 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 because we're going to hold that one. So now, of course, it's Jingle Bells. And since it's the 3, all 3 holes are covered. Now when you hold a note, that since we're playing a filling, playing a heart, we're not going to a metronome that indicates how many beats, 2, 3, 4. You know, we don't have a metronome going. So you just hold it and then you start over. Now, I'm doing a lot, but if any one person uses this, then it's worth my time and effort to do this.